The hobby of makeup collecting can very quickly become overwhelming, just like any hobby. This really became apparent to me and hit home to me when I recently discovered that the Dollar Tree has some bomb makeup products. And I thought, hey, at $1.25, what's the harm? Let me just keep buying some of these really great blushes. But then I quickly realized there is a harm, and that harm is in the form of makeup neglect. And considering that I have 21 blushes, it's going to be very easy for me to neglect some of those blushes if I'm not very careful and very conscious about making sure that I touch all of them in some way and put them on my face. And so that idea got me to thinking, how many makeup collectors out there have the same desire in their heart to use their makeup and to touch all of the makeup and use all of the makeup in some way, and you're desperately searching a way to be able to lessen the neglect that you feel that is happening in your makeup collection. I'm going to share with you 6 ways that I am able to rotate through my makeup collection so that nothing is being neglected. And so if all of this kind of stuff sounds fun to you, if you like makeup content, if you like project panning content, if you like beauty and you just like kind of hanging out, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below to tell us, how do you prevent that makeup neglect from happening in your makeup collection. So let's go back in time to fresh-faced Amy. We're going to do this get ready with me style today as we chat, and I would love your feedback on each one of the points as we go along. And if you have any other ideas on how to not neglect your makeup, please share those in the comments. I would love that. So today, because it's get ready with me and I'm going to be chatting a lot, I'm not going to speak much about the products that I'm using, but I will try to have them like posted at the bottom as we go along. I have but I will do this. I just applied my color corrector from Flower Beauty, and just something that's really helpful for me is I keep track of my uses on a piece of painter's tape. I do have that in a project, which will bring us to the first way that I feel like is a really great way to not neglect your makeup, and that is to start participating in project panning. I got this idea for this video really often. Whenever I do a project panning video, I will kind of describe what project panning is. So just in case someone has stumbled upon my video for the first time and they are not familiar with project panning, I want those people to have some context as to what I'm talking about and why I'm doing it. Project panning is a great way to gamify your makeup usage. You are setting goals for yourself. You're picking products that you want to get use on, whether that use be to use something up, whether it be to hit pan on something like, this eyeshadow. You can see the bottom of the pan that the product is in. So that's a lot of times a goal that people might do. And then for me and some other project panners, we also like to set usage goals. So for example, on this Flower Beauty color corrector, I want to use that 30 times in the project. So that is something that is a really great way for you to get some use out of your makeup or use the makeup up. You can rotate through things, and one of my favorite ways to do that is through the deck of panning project pan that's created by Emily, and her channel is Emily and Max, and I will make sure that I link my playlist and her information below so you can go check her out, because she's really a lot of fun and she does a great job of maintaining her makeup collection and being conscious about how much she brings in. Another way that I have found this year to be able to rotate through my makeup collection and get use out of everything is by combining things together. I love blush, and this past year really kind of past couple years have increased my blush collection by way too many. I have too many blushes, but I love blush. I like it in all forms, and so it brings me a lot of joy. Now, when I realized that one of my newish when I realized that one of my newish blush sticks had, I think, maybe gone bad or something, it was kind of smelling not normal, I thought to myself, this cannot happen. This is not that old. It's a year old, and I've only used this a few times. There's something wrong with that. How can I fix this? So I created for myself and anybody who's out there, and I'll link that video too, the blush tag, where I take a blush, and right now I'm working with Milani, this mini Milani Luminoso, and I use that blush with another blush in my makeup collection. And then the next day I use that blush with another blush in my makeup collection. And I have done that. This is my 5th one to rotate through now. So I have used all of the blushes in my makeup collection 5 times, at least. Some of them have been more than 5 times, and that makes me so happy. Not one blush that I own has gone neglected. Love that. So combining products together, like the blushes, like the eyeshadows, really helps you to be able to avoid spending, and it keeps things fresh and interesting. I don't get bored with using one eyeshadow palette when I'm using it with a couple of different eyeshadow palettes. That keeps things fresh and fun to me. And it's always really interesting to see new combinations of colors. I just really love that. And this is my favorite palette, so I love using it with anything at all. Now, the next way that I feel like would be a great way to make sure that you don't neglect your makeup is going to be controversial. It might be controversial. And it's going to be declutter, for goodness sakes. If your makeup collection looks like this, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're desiring to get more use out of your makeup collection, there is no way, there's no realistic way that you're going to be able to rotate through all of those things and be able to get productive use out of stuff if you continue to keep all of that stuff. It's going to go bad. And what is the point of keeping something that you're not going to use, keeping things that you don't like, keeping things that don't bring you joy, when someone else could be using it? Someone else could love it. Someone else could be passionate about it. I don't promote decluttering for decluttering's sake. If something you own makes you happy, then keep it and use it. But if you know that you don't like it, then get rid of it. I will show you a few examples of some things I haven't technically gotten rid of. I mean, I haven't technically used up, but I am counting them as empties. And I'll show you a few of those things and tell you why. And maybe that will give you some freedom to be able to let go of some things that don't bring you joy. So for example, this mascara probably still technically has some stuff in it, but over the past couple of weeks when I've been using it, it is very clumpy. Like when you pull this out, it's like, I don't know, it's really clumpy. It's really kind of like dried out around like the inner tube part, and that's gross to me, and I don't want that. I have plenty of others that I could be using. So I have used this for a month or two, a couple months probably. So I'm getting rid of it. It's gross. I don't want to think about makeup being gross when I'm getting ready. Do you? Do you like that? I don't like that. Okay, 2. This ColourPop Lippy Pencil Stick. I have been trying to make this work, but the packaging of this is awful to me. And I finally got to the point where I thought to myself, okay, I'm over this. I'm over trying to make this work. I don't get joy in this. I don't like the color of it that much. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. I used enough of it to get my money's worth, and it's fine. It doesn't bring me joy to use that. It stresses me out and it irritates me, and I don't want to be stressed out and irritated when I'm putting on my makeup. That's no fun. And third, here's another example, and so this is an example of, like, these things are going to go in the trash, but these things are going to go to someone else that may like them, but I do not like them. These are these three Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer blushes that are very patchy on me, and they move my makeup around, and I do not like that. So I am not about that life. I'm not about taking the time to put on a full face of makeup and then it be messed up because of my blush, which brings me a lot of joy. So those blushes are not bringing me joy. They're bringing me stress. They're gonna find a new home. There's no point in me trying to keep blushes that I don't like when I have a whole bunch more that I do like. And so I want to give those the love that they deserve. So I found a new home for some of these things, and then the other ones are going in the trash because they have some problems and some issues, and I don't, you know, I don't want to pass those on. Can't pass on eye stuff anyway. So this palette right here, among some other palettes, were some spring like themed or spring like palettes that I had in my makeup collection that were older, or you know, they weren't brand new, and I wanted to be able to give them some love and to use those up. So I created this sort of like capsule wardrobe of eyeshadow palettes that I was going to use for the spring. And to make it more fun, I set a certain number of uses that I wanted to get on each one of the palettes. So each one had a different number, and this one was 8. So, you know, I'm using this in combination with something else in order to get some use out of it. And I find that that's just so much fun. Maybe you want to create a whole like weekly basket where this is the makeup that I'm going to use for a week. These are the eyeshadows, the blushes, the foundations, whatever, maybe whatever like categories in your makeup collection are the largest and the most problematic. Those would be ones that would be really great to include in like a weekly rotation, so that you're getting some use out of the products, but and then you're not letting other things go to waste and just sitting there collecting dust. You don't want to do that. I found the part about setting the uses on those eyeshadow palettes to be the most fun for me. And so I have 2 more left. And once I finish those 2, that's when I'm going to do the 1 week, 1 palette with 3 palettes that are new to me this year. So that they can get some use, because right now I'm kind of focusing on all the ones that I already own, and I want to make sure that I'm getting some use of the ones that I just started owning. They don't want to get neglected either. Tell me right now, what are some things that you find that are really helpful for you to get through some of your makeup? Also, let's talk about, like, what is the size of your makeup collection? How, you know, do you have a moderately sized makeup collection, a very, very large makeup collection? That would be really interesting. So make sure you leave that in the comments. If you do have a large one, do you come up with some sort of system so that you can get some use out of all the things? That'd be interesting and motivating for all of us who are watching. Very, very good. Okay, right now I am trying to speed things along. I've been talking a lot and I only have 2 more talking points. The next thing I wanted to share with you is this idea of placing yourself on a low buy or a no buy for a time period. You could set that for a quarterly no buy, you could set that, or low buy, you could set that for 6 months, you could set that for, last year I did a replacement only no buy. But then like on my birthday, I started buying some things, but then I didn't buy really anything else until Black Friday. I know one of my favorite gals on Instagram and here on YouTube, still Steph, she is on a no buy for the year. And so that's pretty fun. Ooh, hello. That's pretty fun for her. So, you know, a no buy, low buy could be for a couple of different reasons. Maybe your goal is a financial goal and you don't want to spend extra money on makeup because you want to save up for a vacation, or you want to save up for a birthday present or a graduation present or anniversary present, or whatever, you know, that goal may be. You have a goal. You're trying to buy a house. You're trying to buy a car. You're trying to get your kid into preschool, or, you know, whatever that is. Your goal could be financial, and this is why I don't want to buy any new makeup, and that's great. But it could also be with this idea in mind of I need to get more use out of what I have. So if I put myself on a low buy or a no buy, then I'm going to be able to get use out of things because new things are not coming in anymore. That's the idea. New things stop coming in, and that allows you to be able to use what you have and use it up in some cases. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm going to do my eyebrows because that's no fun, and I can't do that and talk for sure. Okay, I've done my brows. And I put on some eyelash, I curled my eyelashes and put some lash primer on. I find that that really helps to beef up my mascara. It gives me a lot more volume. So we're gonna put that on, and we're gonna talk about the last idea that I have to help you not neglect your makeup collection. And that is to think outside the box when it comes to what the product could be. Just because you have a blush doesn't mean it has to always be a blush. Just because you have a bronzer doesn't mean it always has to be a bronzer, and it always has to go on your face. For example, some people really like to use blush and bronzer as eyeshadows. Some people during the summertime really like to use bronzer to kind of help create a little bit of a self-tan look, bringing it down all the way. Like my arms are darker than a lot of my body, so sometimes I'll bring my bronzer down pretty far to help like even out the top half of my body. My legs are pasty white, pasty white, but you know what, that's fine. Some people even like to highlight their décolleté, shin bones. You can use your highlighter for all of that stuff. If you have body highlighter, great, go for that. Creating really simple everyday looks for, you know, in using the blush and bronzer are a really great way to get some use out of your blush and bronzer. Powders. Sometimes I like to use either like my cream colored eyeshadows or powder to kind of clean up little areas right here. Just, you know, think about different ways. Another thing I like to do sometimes is to take like a brown, maybe like this, but this is too orange for me. A brown eyeshadow and use it in your eyebrows as like an eyebrow powder. And that will help you to get more use out of that. So if you place yourself on a low buy or a no buy, and you need to and you need another brow product, hey, just take a look at your makeup collection and see, do you have any brown eyeshadows? I bet that you do. Use those in your eyebrows. that, you know, is a great way to be able to get some extra use. I used to do that a lot with Cypress Umber from Anastasia Beverly Hills in Soft Glam and Modern Renaissance. Both of those palettes have Cypress Umber. Okay, so I am done for the day, and just for you, I'm going to put on some lipstick, even though I still need to eat and brush my teeth. I really hope that my heart for this video comes across, that I really want to be an encouragement to you to rotate through your makeup collection and think about what are your goals for your makeup collection. If you are someone who is wanting to get a little bit more use out of it, take some of the tips that I have today and maybe some that are in the comments and make those tips work for you and your makeup goals. Thank you so much for watching, and before you leave, click the like button and subscribe if you like makeup panning, makeup project panning content and all of that. I will see you in another video. Bye.